go to Carl. Like, if you're watching this and if you bumped into this, right? And you're like, okay, it's just another promotional video. It's not, believe me. I know how terrible my back is. Just go to Carl, drop him a message, and he's gonna tell you things that if you knew then you wouldn't be in the position that you're in the first place, right? The fact that you've hurt your back, you did something wrong just like I did. My name is Abhinav. People call me Abhi or Abs, whichever is easier. And my goals are to stay healthy, both being athletic and aesthetic-wise. And I hurt my back back in 2019, which was pretty bad. And, I wasn't able to hinge, I wasn't able to squat or do any of it. So, I got in touch with Mofo Body Mechanic and Aaron Casely. He got me walking and everything, and my back has, felt pretty good after that. But there was always something I felt in my lumbar. It was unrelated to the injury, but, I wasn't able to walk properly for like 3 years or so. I think because of that, my back was a bit stiff. And for a couple of past 2 or 3 months, I've been having issues with my lumbar. And some days it would be pretty bad, some days not too bad, but they were always hurting, like all the time. I wasn't able to hinge properly, I couldn't do cat and cow, all of those things. So I saw Carl training in Titan Strength, and you do get a lot of gym bros and everyone gives you advice, and I've been training for a long time as well. And I was like, I've taken advices from people and nothing has worked. If anything, it has only made things worse. But, Carl and I started talking, and I've seen him lift weights, and I was like, he's definitely a professional, right? So I asked for his details. I did some background check on his Instagram and everything. I was like, I think I should pick his brains. Started talking, and we locked down a day where I'd show up in the evening and we'll give it a try. I've not squatted in a long time. I've not deadlifted in 5 years. Not even simple bar, not even a hinge movement, because my back was so sensitive. And today we did that. Carl guided me, and in a long time I felt that I actually don't know anything as far as the little techniques are concerned. Bodybuilding exercises are slightly different. There's a lot of accessory involved, but and I could still do bodybuilding without doing squats and deadlift, but those were a couple of exercises that I did miss, and there was a mental block as well. And training with you today, just for like 2 hours, it just, it's a whole new world for me right now. Taking baby steps, keeping my ego in check, which is hard when you've got muscles. People expect you to lift bigger weights, but just keep your ego aside. Take the check boxes that Carl told me. Keep things in mind, and I deadlifted. Not much, but just the fact that I was able to hinge properly, go all the way down, go all the way back up, squatted properly. He told me, because of the way my body is, short torso, long legs, how that plays into account. And all of these things make such a big difference. So I'm definitely more confident now. This is the best I've felt in my lumbar since the past few months. And I thought it might make it worse. So I was stressed out trying to push our training day, just so my back feels a little bit better, and then I get into training. But no, my back feels fantastic. So thank you so much, Carl. Appreciate it, and barbell really does never lie. 100%. It also would help me with other bodybuilding workouts, because one of my favorite exercises, dumbbell press, And for me, the hardest part is unracking the dumbbell. This is the easy part. I can go 40 each hand and it's fine, but unracking 40 and putting back 40 is a task. I would just look at dumbbells. I was like, oh man, will I blow my back up just to lift that up? But yeah, I can only say that's not going to happen. And I'll continue with the exercises that you showed me today, just to keep up, just to get my brain rewired, to get it technically right before I start moving up in weights. He won't be here next month, I think, which sucks, but I'm sure we'll stay in touch. So when I first started training, this was again under Aaron Casely, under Body Mechanics. That's what he told me, and I've always had that in my mind. He said, you hurt yourself doing deadlifts, you're going to fix yourself doing deadlifts. And, we worked together for 16 weeks, and it was fantastic. And I, continued after that. But, I wasn't able to keep up with it. And, after that, my back still started hurting, and I was like, maybe I'm just going to, just stop doing it. I'm just going to do everything else. I don't need to do this. But then you reach a point where you need to do that. You can't simply train around it forever. And if you're doing that, you might get the aesthetics, but you won't be able to function properly. And there's no point in exercising if you can't function properly. You're supposed to feel good. And that's what, Carl brought me back into it, when it comes to, okay, let's start deadlifting. Let's do squats. Your back won't hurt. Your technique is supposed to be this way because, your body composition is a bit different. And yeah, definitely more confident now. I'm not scared of most of the exercises. Another thing, bracing techniques. Sure, I knew how to brace over here, but little tips on how to brace properly when you can just exhale and then inhale again makes such a massive difference. A lot of time people told me you need to keep your head down. No, it's not supposed to be that way. You need to look forward, and instead of pulling yourself up, you need to leg press halfway. Here was another tip where, I've seen people doing deadlifts, and people have told me that the whole body has to come up at the same time. It doesn't have to be like that. It's first your glutes and then your back up. And my back felt fine, which was very weird because in my head I was like, oh, it's going to break because that's what it's supposed to happen because it's hurt. But it didn't. So I still feel a bit weird that it's not hurting. Because being aesthetic and being athletic, both are important to me, equally important to me. So I have aesthetics in check. I do have a fantastic coach for that. But, he's in another city. And it's hard for people to be there, see me in motion live, and correct me. So, with online coaching, sometimes I would do something and, with the whole camera thing, you can't get that. Sometimes it's better when you have a coach right next to you and be like, this is what you're doing, and once you know all of that, to me personally, because for me, it wasn't just, I want to train this, teach me. For me, it was a confidence issue. And if I don't have confidence in myself, no one could convince me, put a camera there, I'm somewhere else, record it, I'm going to give you feedback. I was like, no, I'm going to freeze because, like I said, I couldn't even hinge anything. So I needed someone there. Go to Carl. If you're watching this and if you bumped into this, right, and you're like, okay, it's just another promotional video. It's not, believe me. I know how terrible my back is. Just go to Carl, drop him a message, and he's going to tell you things that if you knew then you wouldn't be in the position that you're in the first place, right? The fact that you've hurt your back, you did something wrong just like I did. So definitely get yourself someone who knows someone who specializes in that area. That's a big thing because I can give advice to someone who's never been in the gym before. And I've never given anyone advice on squats and deadlifts because I know they're a lot more technical. And if you get them wrong, you can actually hurt yourself, right? So I wouldn't do that. And to all the gym bros who are doing that, all right, stop it. It's going to hurt someone. I knew a little bit about nutrition, and I only speak that because I have another fantastic coach, Damien Lees, and we've been training together for a long time. And I got in touch with him after I hurt my back because I was in such a low point of my life that I was, losing all my muscle mass, my legs were getting way smaller and all of that. And I was like, I don't really know what to do. And I was lost. So, a friend of mine got me in touch with Damien and we worked around it. And not only we worked around it, I actually got better. Aesthetically, I was getting better. But at the same time, in my head, I knew that I'm training around my problem. I'm not actually fixing my problem. And to me, that's a bigger issue that I need to rectify at some point in my life as I'm getting older, because if that problem stays, it's only going to get worse, right? And I have trust issues because I've had so many bad advices in the gym that I pretty much don't trust anyone. I listen to people and then I'm like, okay, he said that, I've heard it before, I'm not going to do it. Or even if I did it, didn't work for me. But it's very different when you know someone is specialized in that area. Right? So I've got a coach who specializes in aesthetics, and I can see that when I'm competing on stage. And I have a coach right now who specializes in strength training and lifting the right way. And, that's how I got in touch with him because it was a no-brainer. If you've got people around you who are specialized, pick their brains, man. It's called Fortitude. You can find it on www.fortitude.fit. It's a free website. The subscription is free. And we've got 4 coaches right now on Fortitude. They all specialize in different things. We've got one coach who specializes in Ironman, one is yoga, Pilates, and bodybuilding, and then we've got another bodybuilding coach who specializes in women. So you'll find a subscription page under Pulse where you can just type in your email. You can subscribe to it, and every 2 weeks we give you a general knowledge. It's basically for people who have office jobs and who are absolutely clueless when it comes to nutrition, things that they can do just to keep moving, basic understanding of how, if people are trying to lose weight, which is like, everyone is trying to do, they're doing keto diets, they're going, vegetarian or eating salad, and why isn't it working, and why losing 2 kilos, even though it's good, losing 2 kilos in 10 months, you can do so much better than that by even without going to the gym, just to alter your diet. So we have blogs, we do posts, and just for people to read, and we sometimes hear back from people, and they tell us, hey, can you talk about a bit of protein, or how does carbs work? Is sugar bad? What do I do? So we throw light on those things as well when we do get questions. So yeah, fortitude.fit. I'm Abhi Goyal. You've been watching Beautiful Strength, and remember, the barbell never lies.